everybody. My name is Melanie Keller. I am the Associate Artistic Director of First Folio Theater. And today I have the great pleasure of talking to my dear friend, Joe Foust, who is an Artistic Associate of First Folio. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
The first thing I love asking everybody who's an Artistic Associate is just to tell us about your relationship with First Folio Theater. When did you come to work at First Folio? What are some of the shows you've done? Stuff like that.
Wow, time's hard. I don't think in terms of time. So I think probably was Woman in Black was the first show,
Yeah.
I think, way back in the day. And I've worked on a number of shows acting and directed the recent Jeeves show. And it's been a lot, done a lot of shows out there.
It's a true story. And you wear many, many theater-related hats. You are currently an actor, a director, a playwright, a fight choreographer. At times in your life, I think you've worked in like all the departments. You've told me that you've been a carpenter and a props designer and an ME, master electrician. So basically, it feels like you've done a little bit of everything. How did you find theater, or how did theater find you?
Well, I was doing it first in high school. I loved the social aspect of it, and I loved the collaborative element of the arts with theater. But I had a really good science teacher, and I had won a third place in the International Science Fair. And then I had 3 articles published in science journals before graduating from high school. So I had these scholarships based on science, which is really because I had such a great teacher. And I thought, well, I'm really good at science, but I don't think I'd be that good at theater. And then when I went to U of I, Champaign-Urbana, I realized like I love everything about theater, sweeping the floor, whatever. I don't love the periodic table of the elements. I loved original research, which was creativity with science, not the nuts and bolts of it. But I loved all the nuts and bolts of theater, and I got involved in some theater while still being in chemical engineering as my major. And it lost my intimidation. I was like, oh, well, I can hang with this. I think I'm good enough to do this, and decided to switch majors. And luckily, the scholarships all stayed with me because I think they never suspected I'd be switching to theater. Right?
And you had some great times and lots of great stories that came out of your time in college. I know that. And then you came to Chicago shortly after graduation, or right after graduation?
Yeah, well, we took a year off to do a tour of Kabuki Achilles, and so we were also living in Philadelphia and around that area for a while, then on tour in Europe, and then we came to a lot of us. We did come to Chicago, and a lot of us that were involved with the Kabuki company came straight here to do Kabuki Medea at the old Wisdom Bridge. So that was my first moving to Chicago with a show in my pocket sort of story.
Mm-hmm. And so your base has been Chicago, but you have traveled widely and internationally doing theater. But one of the places that I know you've spent maybe the most time besides Chicago is at Peninsula Players in Door County, Wisconsin. And I think a lot of our patrons know Peninsula Players, know your work up there. So I'd just love to talk for a second about Penn Players and some of the work that you've done up there. And then one day we'll get back to traveling, and I would just love you to give us a recommendation of if and when we get up to Door County, what is a thing that we should see, or some food we should try, or what shouldn't we miss when we get to Door County?
Well, I mean, a lot of the locals talk about they're in love with the foods that are not like Door County. Like there's a Thai place a bunch of them love, and I'm like, that's okay, Thai. That's not like the Thai food in my neighborhood. But like if you're gonna go up there, I say you go for the supper club experience, which is unlike most anything you'll get in Chicago. And I love the English Inn to get the full Wisconsin supper club, eat a meal that should have lasted you a week in one night, sort of thing. But yeah, and I love the wild tomato pizza. I think it's really amazing what they do up there and how they've expanded so much. And Good Eggs is always a great breakfast place. And order ahead. You can get the app and order ahead to skip the line. Otherwise, you're going to go up there and wait in line for 40 minutes.
Nope. So now that I'm hungry, tell me a little bit about Penn Players.
Well, I love it. A lot of the same reasons I think people loved First Folio in the summer is because when you do theater, when you've committed to doing theater as your job, you're going to be in an urban area. Like no small woodsy pastoral community can support theater, really. So you're going to lead a city life. And I just need that nature to recharge me. And I mean, that's what's so beautiful. It's like a cedar preserve with a theater just kind of popped down in the middle of a state-of-the-art theater, like the Goodman just plopped down in the middle of a cedar preserve with a bunch of fairly natural gardening all around it. You know, that organic kind of style of keeping it natural and not overly tended. And it's just beautiful. And there's the water right there. You can watch the sunset, have a cocktail in the beer garden before you go in and perform. Because I always have a cocktail before I perform. As an audience member, you have a cocktail. That's what.
So tell me this. What have you been doing artistically during this sort of unexpected, very unexpected downtime? What projects have you been working on?
John McClay and I, my writing partner, had already been commissioned to write 2 different plays by 2 different companies. And one of them, right now at Carthage College, the Romeo and Juliet Walk into a Bar, is actually in rehearsal. And they're actually, the plan was to do it live with a set and the whole 9 yards. And it looks like it's really happening. I thought it was going to be shut down because so many schools were shutting down so quickly after they started up, but they've been doing well. So they're just maybe a week 2 before tech. So it's getting up there. They're top of November. They're going to open.
So in the middle of a pandemic, you are premiering a new play.
Yes, apparently that's happening.
Joe,
Also, I think my underbags here looking. I just want to get some highlight there so it looks better for the camera. There, that's better. That's good. Can we do the whole thing over and I can do it like this? I look 10 years younger, I swear.
No, we're stuck with it.
Okay, well, that's it then. Well, just imagine me like this, looking so young.
Well, Joe Foust, my friend, Renaissance man and consummate clown. I adore you. Thank you for taking some time to hang out and chat with me. I wish you well. Bet. Stay safe, and we will talk to you soon.
This interview is over. That was me pushing the camera away angrily. All right.